Welcome everyone to this week's edition of Where Is Your Stop? This is Hawking Alpha, and it is July 9th, 2014. In the past week's newsletter, we talked about Argentina leading the world stock markets right now, and we also talked about China and the fact that some positive things could come as they work on their delisting rules in terms of their exchanges. So wanted to go over those two real quick, starting first here with Argentina. As we zoom out and kind of take a big long-term view, we can see that Argentina has been struggling for a very long time now. In terms of since 2011, and just having that wide, broad-based drop to the downside, then all of a sudden, it really has essentially been basing at the second half of 2012, 13, and then the second half of 2013, and finally, it came out of that. Most likely from that currency devaluation as they started to change their rules, but nonetheless, equity asset prices have continued to rise. Now, obviously, we had that snapback in early 2014, coming right back down here into liquidity, but then essentially we had a snap right back out of that, and that gave us actually our first very strong buy signal in there. You can tell that with our stops, we stayed very much outside of the noise. We are very wide on this name due to this kind of volatility that's in there, but it does continue to ride and excel to the upside. And so, right here in about February of 2014 was the first entry signal, and it continues to break out above those highs in October of last year. And of course, the key will be to see how it handles the highs in 2012, getting above here. Wouldn't be surprised if that's the market maker hunt. So in terms of China, let's take a look at China by the FXI. China's an interesting story because essentially we've kind of seen somewhat similar price action that you saw to the rest of the emerging markets like Argentina. You've seen a little bit more volatility to the downside and the upside. And so we've seen very much a sideways base for ever since 2012. So a number of years now we've had these points up at the top here, and now these 1, 2, 3, 4 points at the bottom here between that 30 and 32, and between that 40 and 42. So in terms of good news for China, absolutely. We'll see what happens. And for us, in terms of a macro kind of move, we're going to want to see it break above this level right in here to really confirm that, hey, things are beginning to change from a volume and volatility level that we have marked. Obviously, a good sign will be, to break above this 40.5 area, and then obviously the best will be to see this break above 42 finally, and a transference out of this complete sideways range for the past few years. From the short to medium term, the last time we had a good buy signal was literally right before April, on March 27th, right in here, and we've really stayed actually pretty close, to the stock on this one, because volatility has begun to tighten drastically, as essentially the market is trying to figure out and decide in the midst of this liquidity, hey, where is China going to be going from here? That's why you're starting to see those news announcements pop out and them trying to do as much as they can. So we're staying very tight, obviously up in here, and then we have actually a new stop that initiated up around this 36 area. So outside of the noise in terms of right in here, but this is pretty medium to short-term price action right in there. So any questions or comments that you guys have, or anything that you want us to look at, whether global perspective, futures, currency, commodity, don't hesitate to email or call us. As always, we love hearing from you guys, and to helping you beat random and stay outside the noise.